Unknown to them, Cameron Watanabe was in disguise inside the studio. Back to the Livemen. The Livemen did their morphing sequence, and so did the Hurricaners with Zack and Adam. I'd like to see how these Livemen are in battle, specifically Red Falcon, said Sargain. You got yourself a challenge, said Red Falcon, who drew his sword to battle. The Jimmers and Magarampas showed up. The Hurricaners with the Livemen fought the foot soldiers. Black Ranger 1 and Zeo Ranger 4 also did their part to help as well. Now it was time to deal with the monster. Red Falcon managed to withstand Sargain. You are tougher than I thought, said Sargain. Lethal Zuno revealed his abilities to start warping things left and right. The Livemen were pretty much battered up. Tao Zanto cooperated to help the others. The Livemen tried to attack, but they were beaten. Takaru and Momoko could not help but notice a monster that looks like Zeba's final form. What the? Is it possible Zeba lives again? Said Takaru. I don't think so, Takaru, said Momoko. Then it must be a clone, said Takaru. Even without the others, let's try to hold him against on our own to help the other Sentai Rangers here, said Momoko. Takaru and Momoko entered into battle as Red Mask and Pink Mask. They realized they were facing a new breed of monster. Two of the Maskmen. They're here, said Adam, who noticed them from the archives. He was lying face down on the ground and was unable to get up, as well as the others. Red Mask drew his masky blade to challenge the monster, and Pink Mask her masky ribbon. They tried to tie it down, but only to get beaten. I think my Aura Fist can help, said Red Mask. However, the Aura Fist failed. Lethal Zuno was more powerful than expected. Ouch, my fist, said Red Mask, screaming in pain. Takaru, are you alright? Asked Pink Mask, who was trying to help Red Mask up. Momoko, looks like we're facing the worst yet. Arrgh, said Red Mask. It was clearly like Zeba's revenge from hell as he used a warping attack against the heroes. Like the others, they also fell as Tao Zanto was helping the monster. Sakurakura finally arrived with Lothor. I guess we have more contestants then in our grand quiz bowl. Tao Zanto-sama, I guess we can start with these guys for our deadly quiz bowl, said Lothor. Quiz bowl, said Yousuke in shock, remembering how poor a student he was at academia and losing at them was one of his weaknesses. That's right, it's a quiz bowl of doom that is going to happen soon enough, said Tao Zanto. You will all witness your own deaths. Tao Zanto and his men carried them off. Lothor was honored to work with a more vicious force than he had already possessed. Something else was awaiting the heroes. In the Sentai year 201, at the United Lands of Evil headquarters, Radiguet was delighted at the news. He was speaking to Tao Zanto through the monitor. Apparently we're making more progress with the collaboration. Now if only we can get this show on the road while people are betting on the lives of people, said Radiguet. It's going to be well, most honored Emperor. Lothor and Satorakura are going to run as the game show hosts. Lothor is the main host, that is. We can get a grand audience of alienazers that Umbrella, as you said, invited to drop money in their broadcasting to get the money rolling in, said Tao Zanto. This would be fun indeed to watch, to see the money rolling in to finance the organization and at the same time killing people, said Trenza. Indeed, there will be many alienazers watching the show, said Umbrella. And I do hope for the success of the operation this time. We can't afford to disappoint our high-paying guests. No, not at all. Keep it bloody and keep it full of torture, said Radiguet. Meanwhile, at the new skybase in the Sentai year 2011, they detected an unusual sign at the monitoring station. What the? Our assigned rangers for the day have just gone missing into thin air, said Cassie, who was assigned to work at the monitoring station. Anything's possible in a dangerous world like this, said Carone, who took off her headset in fear. She was pretty exhausted. Are you alright, Carone? Asked Cassie. Not at all, said Carone. Looks like we need some subtle action to deal with the matter. I wonder how Tommy is doing right now in scouting, said Director Aya. Bulk and Skull can be seen in utmost panic. They were hugging each other out of fear.
Oh, I want my mommy! Yeah, I want your mommy!
Don't panic yet, you two. I guess we can get our plans done to rescue them, said Professor Makino. Back in the Sentai year 1988, the contestants were getting ready. The camera was positioned. What's going on, said Takaru. We are going to make you contestants of the Wheel of Torture, which Volt and the United Lands of Evil has worked together to create money for both sides, plus the deaths of the Rangers, said Grand Professor BS. Wheel of Torture? Asked Momoko. That's right, we have tested our game show. Lothor and Satorakura will be your hosts. They both have a wicked sense of humor, said Tao Zanto. Why, thank you, Tao Zanto-sama, said Lothor. This is really terrible. I can't believe you're torturing people to death or about to do so. Why you, said Yosuke Shina, who was restrained by Sargain's sword. The henshin powers of the heroes were nullified by some kind of field. You are breaking the rules of our contest, said Sargain. The game show must begin as it is, a game show of evil. For that first violation, we kill one of the audience. What? Said Yosuke Shina. Before him, he saw an innocent civilian held captive killed before his very eyes. Play the game show or we will kill the rest of the audience, said Tao Zanto. Zimmers and Makirampa can be seen in host attires entering the hallway. Good, very good. I guess any minute now we can start the game show of evil. Should they break the rules or get an electric shock, should they refuse to participate, we kill an audience member, said Lothor. Right you are, right you are. The game show of evil begins at this very moment, said Satorakura. But I have to admit, Red Falcon is a pretty good swordsman. It'd be a waste to kill him, said Sargain. Don't let personal matters get in the way, Sargain, said Tao Zanto. It's important we succeed here. We are cashing in a lot of wicked people to pay us for the money they give to see tortures. There were some booths ready. The first booth was the Wind Rangers. The second booth was for Takeru and Momoko. The third was for the Livemen. The fourth were for the Hurricanegers. The fifth were for the Wind Rangers. Momoko looks like we're going to end up dead anytime soon, said Takeru. Takeru, at least we die in battle, said Momoko. Don't think about it too much. We've got to think about how to stop the game show. More people could get killed in the process like they did a while ago, said Takeru. Shane Clark, Dustin Brooks, and Tori Hansen held hands together, encouraging each other up. They're quite a team of strangers. They must be Power Rangers themselves, said Yosuke Shina. Nami was in a moment of calmness, trying to collect her emotions. I know there's got to be a way out of this, said Nami. The Hurricanegers were pretty stuck, as well as the Livemen. The Wind Rangers were still firm as ever, believing they will find new abilities to help them out. I hope you can get us out of this, Megumi. You're the brains of our group, said Yousuke. Maybe not this time, Yousuke, said Megumi. I got stressed out as of late. Even I can't always think higher than you. Sometimes your battle plans work. I know you can push us out of this mess, said Yousuke. You are our team brain. Just then, the game show was now starting. Applauses were heard from the United Alliance of Evil in the Sentai year 2011. Alienators gathered in the stadium, ready to give their money to finance the United Alliance of Evil. Lothor began to open the game show. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Grand Professor Bias's and Tao Zanto's game show with me, Lothor, said Lothor. And me, Satorakura, the evil clown of Jankia, said Satorakura while he flipped around. As your host for this night's event of the game show, Wheel of Torture, said the two together who had the Monster of the Week, Lethal Zuno, acting as the mascot of the show. Wendy Wu and Fubijaju began to do a cheer dance. Go evil, said the two evil muses. Go United Alliance of Evil, go Wheel of Torture. A giant wheel was spun where a man was being tied to it. He was receiving a nasty electric shock while it happened. The Rangers could only watch the brutality of the show. I can't bear to look, said Tori. Yosuke Shina was angry, but he could not do a thing. Calm down, Yosuke, said Nami. Of course, we're sponsored courtesy of the United Alliance of Evil. If you ain't evil, you can't join in and participate in this game, said Grand Professor Bias. Takeru and Momoko hold hands like they're a couple to encourage each other. If we die together, said Takeru. Agreed, said Momoko. Enough of this! Shouted Yosuke. Defiance? Well, then I'll blast the man on the wheel, said Tao Zanto. Meanwhile, we can see the other masked men in their activities. Kenta was in America, but was going back home to Japan. Akira back home with his mother, and Haruka was opening a ninja school with a bunch of younglings. Kenta was in the airport now, hoping to see his friends. He ran into them. Akira! Haruka, said Kenta. Kenta, said Akira and Haruka. I wonder how things are since we finished Tube. From what I hear from Takeru, he and Eyal never recovered their relationship, although they're still friends, said Haruka. I guess some things are never meant to be, said Kenta. It's great to be reunited for once, said Akira. Tommy, who was sent to the past by the team to test his abilities as Big One. Just as he was scouting, he was given a message from Ranu. Tommy, Billy has found the coordinates you need to find the Livemen and the Hurricanegers. They are currently stuck in the TV station. By the way, I believe that you need to find the Maskmen so you can finish your mission. You and the others. Their data is in your iPod of who the Maskmen are, said Ranu via the time communicator. Tommy, be careful. By the way, I believe the Maskmen and Livemen can work together to defeat the monster, said Billy confidently. Got you, Ranu, Billy. Thanks for the information. Now I must be on my way to find the Maskmen via my new abilities as Big One, said Tommy. Just before that, Bamba gave his message too. Tommy, you now carry the skills I taught you, said Bamba. Got you, Sensei, said Tommy. Is Billy really interested in her and all? I think so. Ranu's a pretty girl and all, and I am honestly glad to have known her also aside from Kira. Maskmen, where can you be? Asked Tommy, who was now seeing their faces as uploaded in the mission archives. Meanwhile, the TV sets of both 1988 and 2011 of the Super Sentai universe were now jammed. This left Kenta in shock and also the other masked men of the TV show. What will happen next? Will our heroes escape or will they be doomed? Find out in the next exciting conclusion. I think this may actually be the first chapter that has no redeeming value whatsoever. At least the other ones, yes, even last week's two-parter, had something minimalistically good about it. So you know the drill. Next week will be our Liveman Maskman team-up in the background while we deal with this stupid-ass game show.